Welcome to the 2022 Tennessee National Riders Meeting. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. We have an amazing event this year. This is the 7th year we've hosted at Windrock Bike Park in the spring, and every year we've worked hard to bring you guys new tracks and new stages for the Enduro, and we hope you guys really enjoy them. I hope everybody has a good time in Tennessee, and we hope you come back soon. Let's go ahead and jump into some of these maps. When you enter Windrock Bike Park from Oliver Springs or Oak Ridge, you'll come down a small road and you'll pass Windrock Park Campground. You'll then get to the entrance of the park. This year we have a bit of construction going on, so if you haven't been to the park recently, you'll find that our parking situation is a little bit limited where we normally are because of the construction. We hope that everybody can please stay out of the construction zone and try their best to not block our staff or our shuttles from operating. Typically, we're using the parking that is right here at the top for our venue, and that is what is going to be closed off. So most things will operate the same as last year. We're just shifting a little bit farther down. So our shuttle will still pick up in the bottom lot, just as we did last year. But our venue and our team pits will take up this upper parking lot in its entirety. On the left side of the road, we have our registration tent, our medical center, and our staff parking. Please do not block the left side of the road. The finish line for the downhill track is in the same location as it has been previously, up the hill from the shuttle pickup. So as you're coming in, if you are not in a team venue or a team pit, there is plenty of parking locations for you. They're just in a slightly different location. So these lots are first come, first serve. You can't leave your stuff overnight. So you can't stake out a claim for the weekend. You got to set up every day. There's parking lot 1 here right across from the Windrock General Store. A small parking lot for parking lot 2 that will fill up pretty quick. There's a lot as you turn right down Hoskins Gap. There's a small lot on the right that's pretty good. And then there's 2 extremely large parking lots just down the road. These 2 parking lots, I really encourage our enduro racers, if you're not in the team pits, to go ahead and park over here. 2 of your 4 enduro stages will end back in these parking lots, so you'll have easy access back to your vehicles. As far as the downhill track, we're starting and ending in the same place. And for enduro tracks, you will still ride the shuttle to the mid drop, and you'll have access to your 3 or 4 stages depending on which category you're in. The youth downhill race will use the green trail system off of the lower mountain drop. To make this event run really smoothly, it really helps if everybody can take the time to go to TennesseeNational.com, click on the info tab, and download these 2 items. I would recommend saving them offline, taking a screenshot or whatever you need to do, print them out. The internet service is not great at Windrock, but if you download these and have these on hand, you'll save us a lot of time and energy by answering questions about scheduling and mapping. Once you've downloaded those, you'll get 2 files. You'll get a map pack that explains the parking situation that we just went over. You'll also have the maps for where all of the races are happening on which tracks. You'll have the downhill track map. You'll have a Marshall map. If you're volunteering, this one will be really important for you. If you're not volunteering, you should consider it because these posts are really hard to fill all these during all of our spots. You'll have the Enduro track map, the Enduro Marshall map, and the youth downhill map. Go over those, get a good idea of the venue, and you'll know where everything is. The second file is the tech guide. In the tech guide, you'll find a detailed schedule. You'll find a rule book, and you'll find some resources on how you can contact us during or before the event. Let's go over a few things in this schedule. We'll start with the downhill race. The downhill race is broken into 3 categories for practice this year. These practice blocks are based on both safety and numbers. So we have an equal split of about 110 to 115 riders per category. This will keep our shuttles rolling smooth with hopefully no lift lines. Some basics on that: you're not allowed to ride in practice blocks that aren't your scheduled practice blocks. So you can't get on the shuttle whenever you want. When your practice is over, you still can't use the shuttles. We close the bike park to everybody but their practice blocks so that we can get everybody up the mountain safely within their time schedule. The windows are pretty small for practice, so we don't want to have any complications there. A couple basics: the enduro racetracks are closed Monday through Thursday. Windrock Bike Park will be open Monday through Wednesday, but there's very limited trail access. So you can get a chance to do a few laps, but don't expect to ride the whole bike park. Our XC trails are open Monday through Sunday, and permits are available at the Windrock General Store. Our XC trails are a great option for guys who are wanting to race enduro and want to get used to our terrain. From the venue, there's a couple ways you can get over to our XC trails. You can take the OHV trail that transfers to the campground, and that leaves right from the general store. If it's muddy, I don't recommend taking this road. It will be very slow, and you can pedal down this section of road. There's a steep climb to get into the campground. There is also a small amount of parking at the top of that climb where the entrance to the trails is. So before you get to the campground, the trails will be in this small parking lot, and there's quite a lot of descents up there. It's pretty much one climb up, and there's 7 or 8 downhills up there now. So that's a really good option if you're racing enduro or your family is out and wants to go for a ride during the weekend. Go ahead and send them over to the Windrock XC trails. Just to reiterate, Thursday through Sunday, the bike park is closed. That's for anybody who is not in one of these scheduled blocks. So I hope everybody can go through, mark their times when they have practice blocks, when the registration center is open, and be, informed without having to ask a bunch of questions. Spread this to your friends, make sure everybody sees it, and it'll make everyone's life a lot easier. Spectators. So if you have family or friends who are coming to watch, there is a cost to get up on the mountain. That wristband can be purchased at the registration tent. One way you can get around not paying for a weekend of registration is to sign up for a volunteer block. We need all the volunteers we can to make sure that the downhill track and the enduro practice is safe and well marshaled. So if you have a family member who wants to come up and watch and they don't want to buy a wristband, they can volunteer for just one practice block and they can get in for the weekend for free. Our timing system, we're using Zone 4, and the live timing will be available on Tennessee National's website. We will add it to the home screen when it's live. We'll change the sign up button to say live timing, and you'll be able to watch live timing through the Zone 4 system. The downhill track. All competitors are going to be on the same track. So all categories are on the same track. Pretty straightforward. There's go-arounds for some of the big features, and the track is made to handle all the different categories. Our marshals use a red flag system. If a course marshal holds up a red flag and asks you to stop, it's because there's an injured rider below you. Please consider that injured rider and stop at the red flag. If you get stopped on a red flag during your race run, you will get a rerun. The shuttle system. So as we know, everybody can only shuttle during their practice block. You have to use our shuttle system. You can't drive your own truck. You can't pedal up the road. You have to use our shuttle system within your window. Please, when you're loading the shuttles, don't rush the shuttle trucks. Load them front to back. Don't just throw a bike on. It's impossible to get every bike on unless they're loaded front to back. We will have some lift marshals and some lift help to help people get bikes on the trucks during those blocks. But please don't load a bike that's not front to back. It makes it very hard for everyone. Reruns. If you're caught by a racer or you're catching a racer, there is no reruns. Please announce yourself loudly as you approach a rider, and please yield to the racer that's catching you. Again, if you're stopped by a red flag, you will be issued a rerun. Our downhill race is sanctioned by USA Cycling and UCI. Everybody, please double check that their license is appropriate for the category they're racing before you get to registration. This helps with this line tremendously. It only takes a minute to check your USA Cycling license or your UCI license to make sure it's active. Please do that before you get here. That concludes most of the rules for our downhill race. We hope everybody enjoys the track and has a good, safe weekend. For the enduro events, stages 1 through 4 are closed Monday through Thursday. Like I said, the Windrock XC trails are a great place to go get an idea of how the terrain is, how the dirt quality is, and what you could expect for the weekend. All sport categories will compete in stages 1 through 3, and all EWS categories will compete on stage 1 through 4. Shuttles. You can only use the Windrock Bike Park shuttles. You cannot use the Windrock Bike Park shuttle to get to the mid-drop and then use a vehicle to go from the mid-drop to the top. You can't pedal up the road. Don't pedal up the shuttle road. It's not okay. We will stop you and tell you to go back down. You are, however, allowed to pedal to what we call the three-quarter spot on the tracks. You can shorten your time pedaling by only going to the three-quarter road. This is G1. It is also marked as medic for access. This gets you across to all 4 stages without having to pedal the last little bit. So if you want, you can practice some of these stages by going to the three-quarter road. Equipment. During the race, you are allowed to change equipment. You can go back to the pits, you can change parts as you needed, you don't need to notify anybody. Safety precaution. If you come across a down rider, please stop and stay with the rider, and as the next racer approaches, please stop them and send them to the next marshal post to call for a medic. If you're inconvenienced by stopping and staying with a down rider, you will be given a rerun. We hope this doesn't happen, but please look out for each other. During the racetrack, you will cross G1 road where there will be a marshal at every crossing. Those marshals all have radios that are connected to the medics and can call for help. The start and the stop of every stage also has a course marshal with a radio. So if you have a downrider situation, please go to one of those course marshals and ask for them to call on the radio. EWS memberships. If you want to be eligible for EWS points, you need to make sure that your membership is active now before the event, because once the event happens, they won't retroactively give you EWS points for your finishing. So other than that, I think everything is pretty straightforward on these maps. Stages 1 through 4 are all from the same top point, and they do end in 2 different spots. Stages 1 and 3, they end on OHV 1, and you'll transfer back and into the venue through this little trail. Stages 2 and 4 end in those overflow parking lots. Like I said, it's a good place to park if you want to get to your vehicle easily. In the event of horrific weather, we will keep everyone posted on the status of enduro tracks. We'll make that call on Friday. If it's looking like there's horrific weather, we will potentially modify the course to make sure that everybody can safely get through the weekend and finish before the 4 o'clock cutoff. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me for the demonstration here on what's going to go on. Please spread the word, tell your friends, share it on social media, get the word out there. If you have any questions, you can go to the registration tent and our staff will be happy to help you. We hope you enjoy your time in Tennessee. Thank you for coming to Tennessee National.